So sit back and just roll up the perfect show for my smokers, true buds.
And what are your guys' favorites of what you produce?
I like OGs.
OGs, nice.
Yeah, I think the OG high is amazing. I also like some of the, like strawberry cough, sativa has the taste that's amazing. It's got its own unique high. It changes. I mean, like you could ask me 5 years ago, and I would have said strawberry cough. Now OGs, our D33. I mean, the thing is the problem is that there's so many that like it doesn't really like if we don't, the one actually that I like to smoke the most, we don't really grow for public, and it's because it's very difficult to grow. It's called Skittles. I mean, it's already a genetic out there, but the way our system grows it, it's phenomenal. It's super euphoric. The problem is it doesn't have a good look, so it doesn't have a lot of. If we put it out on the market, people might not buy it. It's also very low testing THC, and people are very attached to the high THC. So we might do a small batch and just charge what it's really worth, but it'll be like $120 eighth out the door. So it's going to be very expensive, price prohibitive. But that's what my ultimate favorite strain is.
Okay,
yeah. But it's not on the market.
For maybe a
It's
little,
just
like
for
a
us.
small batch release for the connoisseurs out there, maybe.
We're doing a small batch now, and we're giving 75% of it to all the staff.
Oh, nice.
And then 25% we just keep.
Yeah, they do have it good over there, man. You guys got
We have a 2,000 person waiting list.
Make it better and better.
Yeah, people are trying to work for us.
Jack,
man.
Your last question was really good because it touches upon so many different subjects within the cannabis realm. You know, asking what strains you like. Like, for instance, myself, I like the OGs too. It's probably what I grow best. But say something like the Skittles that Atari just referred to has lower THC. And I think we don't have to talk about this forever, but I think it's worth mentioning. It's a conversation that needs to be brought up in the cannabis space, is that it's not just about THC numbers. There's a whole cannabinoid profile in there that each plant has. By each plant, I mean each strain. All right, each strain has. And in addition to that, we all have like an internal experience that we have when we ingest something like an alcohol or a cannabis or a coffee or tea or whatever it is. It changes the texture of your consciousness. It changes your perception, right? And how you're aware of things. And so I'm hoping that one day in the future, there will be a resurgence or a renaissance of strains that maybe have a little bit less THC, but have something else to offer, like our Skittles. It's lower THC and it's not pretty. Now, the Skittles strain was developed more for concentrates, for dabbing, because the taste is just unreal. So it's not the prettiest flower. But even the flower, the dry flower for smoke, before it gets turned into concentrate, is amazing. And so one day there'll be a resurgence of strains like this that are perhaps lower in THC or not as pretty. You know, they might not turn purple or have that white look that the Quest has, but they make up for it. They provide value to the user in some other way.
And terpenes as well.
And I feel like that you guys are at the forefront of that, and thank you for coming on today to help educate and
sure.
talk about more, because it just needs to be a conversation, right? Like we're having now.
I like to make this analogy, the equivalent of what's going on in the cannabis market, and it's okay because it's still a young market, it's a new market, is as if you walk into like a liquor store and you just go right for that 40 proof or whatever it is liquor because you think that you're getting the most for your dollar. But the reality is we all drink a beer or a wine or eat. I'm not drinking whiskey and tequila every time I want an alcoholic beverage, right? So right now in the cannabis space, when everybody's going for that 30% THC, that's the equivalent of what they're doing. And like I said, one day there'll be a resurgence of the beers and the wine, so to speak, something that offers a different experience that's not just about the THC number.
One of the lowest testing strains that we ever grew was Master Kush. And it was like 8%.
8%.
Like you have to understand is if it goes below 20%, no one will buy it. So 8%, like that means absolutely there's no market for it. But I took 2 bong hits of that and I couldn't speak for an hour. And in a good way. It wasn't like I couldn't speak. It's like I didn't want to speak. And I was in such a good mood that I could feel the breeze hitting my face. It was just amazing. But there's no market for it. But I would love to smoke that, but there's no market for it. And I'm like Ali says, we as a company are hoping one day that we can have enough of a following where we can introduce lower lower testing strains, and there's the connoisseurs are like that. Like I would consider myself a connoisseur, and there's more people I would say in the Bay Area that are connoisseur smokers, but they don't look at, if you're looking at just the THC, then get extracts, get like, bubble hash, and that's got more THC than anything else. You want the whole, like our cannabis always tests in the top 1% of terpenes. That says something because we grow in soil. For example, strawberry cough, I mentioned it earlier, has 7 times the myrcene levels that the other stuff we grow, but it has a completely unique high. If you smoke it in the afternoon, you start seeing different colors. So, and it's very popular, and we grow that strain, although it's a low yielder, it's very difficult to grow, and it sells out immediately because people love it. But again, it's a high THC tester, but even without the THC, the terpene levels alone can really give you an effect that is unique. So I'm hoping, and we're hoping, that the market will mature and understand that just because, I can give you some really terrible cannabis that tests 32%. So it really has no meaning. We grow and sell the higher testing THCs because that's what the market demands, and we need to get our product out there. We're hoping that in 5 years that we will have such a big following that we could say, try this. And I guarantee you most people will be very, very happy and impressed. Skittles, like I say, is phenomenal. And I will also say that Skittles is very medicinal. And so we're doing testing to introduce a medicinal line that has no bearing on the THC. Because when I say it's medicinal, I was getting a procedure done and I had to take all these like medicines, liquids. And I was on the level of nausea. I don't mind like if my foot hurts or my shoulder hurts, but nausea and headache pissed me off more than anything else in the world. And I was at level like 9 on the 1 to 10 scale of nausea. And I was about to cancel the procedure. At 2 a.m, I was going to just email them saying, I'm not coming in. And I remembered we had Skittles and I rolled a fat joint. I'll say it's not a tower, it's a joint because I hand rolled it. And I smoked it. And within 5 minutes, nausea was gone and I was hungry. And so I realized that was really medicinal. And so if we can get people to understand that, then we can have a different discussion than we have now, which is like you hear them come in, what's the hardest hitting thing you got? And it's like, that's exactly like going into a liquor store and just getting grain alcohol. Great, you're going to get drunk. But where's the taste, the effect, like the wine gives you? So we're hoping the market matures. And I really feel very confident the market will mature. Because when we first got into the market, everybody wanted sativas. And we knew, okay, this is a relatively young market, meaning new smokers. And we realized that they're going to eventually what happens is they go for the sativas and then eventually they go to the OGs because the OG is a much more dynamic high. And that's exactly what happened. And we are OG specialists, yet we're probably one of the few companies, I don't really know of many companies that can grow OGs the way we grow, at the same time grow exotics the way we grow, indicas the way we grow, and sativas. And that's a testament not only to Ali and his team. I want to mention Scully and John Richards, who are badass master growers that have been with us. They've been friends with Ali for a lifetime. They're my closest friends, and they're incredible. And they basically, just to give you, there's a clean green certification in California started by Mr. Van Hook, who used to work for the federal government of doing organic certification. Since it's federally illegal, you cannot get organic certification. So he did something called clean green certification. And the first 3 indoor clean green certified growers work for us, and that's Ali, John, and Scully. So to Scully and John, guys, I love you, so I wanted to mention you guys because you're very valuable, including the rest of the team. But they're very, very important people in our organization, and that's what makes us special. Is again, like we have real talent that can grow all the different strains, but also grow it organically.